Do you stumble upon simply gorgeous Instagram handles that seem to have it all figured out? Their images are crisp, they all have that authentic brand feeling to them, and on top of that all, they have mastered the Instagram captions. If only your brand could be so hip and cool. Well, I'll let you in on how to create consistent Instagram branding. First things first, Instagram, although really cool, is just another social channel for your content. So it follows that you should treat it as such. Ensure that Instagram fits in organically into your overall branding and business strategy. Once your customers land on your profile, they have to recognize your brand immediately. Also, let's get clear on what is overall branding versus visual branding. Branding is more than developing a logo. Branding encompasses all of the brand experiences from how it looks and sounds to what it offers and how it handles customers. So you really need to define your company branding if you want it to be at least a little bit successful. While developing beautiful imagery is very important, but so is the storytelling and positioning of your company. Your brand story includes things like how you started, what your passions are, what values drive your company, and so forth. It also includes things like your customers and what you help them achieve, what kinds of problems you're helping them to solve, and what types of aspirational lifestyle they're trying to achieve. And this is just the beginning. You also have to consider things like your offerings and product lines and the theme or aspect that unites all of your products into a cohesive line. Plus, be very mindful of how you can stand out in your niche. Let's be honest, there are lots of similar products offered in almost any industry, any part of our lives. However, we have a tendency to choose the brands we use by associations and values we assign to them. So think about what differentiates your company and your offerings from everyone else. All of these details make up your brand story, and you have to be effective in consistently telling it through imagery and captions. Another piece that will truly help you introduce yourself and your company to potential followers and clients is your Instagram bio. Think of it as your elevator speech. Every successful bio on Instagram has to have a couple of things: who you are, what you do, and who you serve. Ensure that all of these pieces are present and that they are clear. Do not be afraid to be very specific. Entice the right audience to follow you, even if it means that some people who are not in your target audience will choose not to follow you. This is really important because it will attract the right kind of followers that will hopefully turn into clients. Don't be afraid to turn away people who are not your ideal clients. This is completely fine because in the long term it will enable you to truly focus on the right people and provide them with a greater value. Finally, if you do have a space left in your bio, include a fun fact about yourself. It helps to show your personable side and strike a conversation with people who have similar interests and passions. Now, let's go to the visual branding, also usually known as the fun part. Your Instagram visuals have to be in line with your visual assets on every other channel. Again, this ensures a cohesive experience for potential and existing customers. It also strengthens their set of associations with your brand. If your brand is clean and minimal, it should stay the same way on Instagram. If your brand uses lots of bright colors, so should your Instagram photos. Also, pay attention to your Instagram profile image. It seems like a no-brainer, yet marketers make this mistake all the time. Instagram profile image is extremely small on the phone, so please make sure it is legible. Now, let's talk about how you can go about creating beautiful imagery for Instagram that reinforces your brand. This network is all about beautiful, bold photos that catch attention. Don't bother to upload grainy unless you're going for that look. Low quality images. Spoiler alert, it won't rake in lots of likes. Your pictures are just one of millions of others, so you better step up your game. Visual representation of your brand online may be the first experience your audience has with it, so make sure it's great. Some businesses have to be serious and somber, while some companies can get away with a little humor. Some companies appeal to its audience with playfulness and flirt, others have to show their sense of style, glamour, and hipness. The mood of the business and its target audience will dictate aesthetics of your brand presence. Think about the basic building blocks of your brand, such as color palette, fonts, imagery, logos, and so forth. We have all of the pieces we need to create a beautiful and cohesive Instagram presence for your brand. You have quite a few choices when it comes to producing and sourcing Instagram content. The first choice is obviously to create your own images. If you use lots of your own images, make sure they're well lit, high contrast, and clear. Some seasoned Instagrammers only use their smartphones to take images of themselves. However, if you're not at that level of expertise or skill just yet, opt for a real camera. There are lots of decent camera offerings available at affordable prices. You will also quickly see the return on this investment in the quality of your content and thus the interest of your audience. Then, of course, you can hire a professional photographer or create high quality pictures of your product or business. While this is a bit pricier option, it still makes a lot of sense. You won't necessarily hire a photographer to create images just for Instagram. What you really should be hiring a professional for is to take a variety of images of you, your business, your product, and maybe even behind the scenes content. Once you have a library of great images of your business, you can ensure consistency across channels by uploading these photos to your website, your email communications, your print materials, and your social channels. Since we talk about Instagram specifically, you can play around with these new professional images and create a variety of visuals. For example, you could creatively crop images or overlay images with text. Finally, you can turn to stock photos. There is an abundance of royalty-free images websites, so it's really not that difficult to find amazing high-quality photos. Lots of the services allow you to use the pictures for free or for a small fee. I'm also not talking about those cringe-worthy stock images. I'm talking about creative stock images that almost do not look stock. However, a word of advice: you can employ stock images once in a while, but try to use as much of unique imagery as possible. This will add a personal touch and tell a story about your brand. You can also combine images with text to create some variety in your visuals. Canva will help you create stunning, eye-catching visual items that tell your story. People appreciate it when you take the time to create pleasant user experience. Finally, you can turn to the vibrant Instagram community and once in a while repost someone else's post if that post is in line with your branding. Most Instagrammers won't find it offensive if you repost their content with a proper credit. In fact, it may even lead to new connections being made and new communities being discovered. It may be challenging enough to take amazing photos on a consistent basis. It might be even harder to ensure they all feel like pieces of one puzzle. Think of Instagram feed as one big picture while all of the images feed in and create your overall brand story. But then also each individual image goes into detail and strengthens the story even further. Consistency is key here. Decide whether you want your business to come across as serious, dramatic, romantic, funky, or classy. Use filters to submerge your audience into this feeling. Create a mini branding guide that clearly lays out colors, graphics, fonts, captions, mood, hashtags, and anything else you need. First, look for your brand colors. If you're creating product photos or stage photos of product usage, it should be relatively easy to bring in those colors into the photo. If it's text-heavy images, then again you have full control over font colors. Finally, if it's truly a lifestyle photo, a behind-the-scenes moment, or a casual photo with little help from filters, you can enhance the brand look. Spend a little time going through all the filters Instagram offers already. Clearly, some Instagram filters like Clarendon, Lark, and Juno intensify hues and increase contrast. Others, such as Gingham, Crema, and Reyes, make photos look more subdued and pale. Yet others bring out specific colors. For example, Perpetua enhances blues and greens, Valencia adds yellow, and Nashville adds pink hues to your pictures. Also, don't forget some filters will warm up the colors in the photo, while others will cool them down. If Instagram filters do not satisfy you, there are a variety of apps these days that all come with their own pre-made filters, as well as the ability to create your own unique look. Of course, there is always Photoshop. If you feel comfortable playing around with settings and filters in Photoshop, go for it. You can also save your preferred look as a preset to save you some time in the future. Also, make sure that you place your branding consistently. Use consistent logo and its placement on all of your visual marketing assets. Having logo variations will confuse and distract your audience and customers. Spend some time to find something that really works and use it across all of your visual content. Your customers will be much more likely to recognize your visuals in the noise of other brands and content. While it's the image that capture our attention on Instagram, it is the captions that make it truly an effective message. Sometimes it is nice to get the background story and find out more details. It makes the storytelling that much more powerful. Let me briefly revisit the first point and say that your voice on Instagram should be the same as everywhere else. Those captions have to be authentic to your brand. Now that we clarified that, let's discuss the length of Instagram captions. It all comes down to how much you want to disclose or how much your followers need to know in order to understand your message. Don't leave them guessing and wondering, but also don't tire them with paragraphs and paragraphs of meaningless rumble. Also, please do not stuff your captions with hashtags. It is very distracting. If you're going to use hashtags in your caption, it has to be done cheeky and highlight the point, so don't put more than 3 hashtags into an image caption. Where you can put more is the comment section. Once you publish an image, go to comments and post your hashtags as the first comment. It will accomplish a few things. First of all, your uploads will be as discoverable as they'd be with hashtags in the descriptions, yet it keeps descriptions short and clean. Plus, if you're going to repost an image on other platforms that don't support hashtags or make it look weird, it's better to keep the copy neat. Yet, now that you know where to insert hashtags, don't be too spammy and stuff your comments with irrelevant keywords. Yes, Instagram branding takes time to perfect. However, once you achieve that consistent Instagram look and find your signature style that beautifully blends into an overall branding, you'll be golden. What do you think? Did you find your Instagram style? What are the building blocks of it? How do you ensure consistency in your Instagram presence? Share in the comment section below or head over to Instagram at LysaLiu to continue this conversation. And do not forget to download your copy of free and awesome Instagram branding guide. The link is in the description.